Gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for your service to our nation. The topic of this hearing, cybersecurity, cyber attacks, is a growing threat to this country, and one that I think will only become greater in the years ahead. We have seen in recent years serious attacks from, among others, Russia, China, North Korea. Indeed, it is with some irony. I spent a number of years in the private sector and, to the best of my knowledge, never had my information hacked. And then all I had to do was get elected to the United States Senate. And the Office of Personnel Management was promptly hacked, and everyone on this bench had our information stolen by a foreign assault. My question, Admiral Rogers, starting with you, is what do you see as the greatest cybersecurity threats facing our country, and what specifically should we be doing about it to protect ourselves?
So, small question. When I look at the challenges and the threats, it's in no particular order. Significant extraction of information and insight that is generating economic advantage for others, that is eroding operational advantage at times for us as a nation. That is, as you have seen in this Russian piece, where not just the extraction, but then the use of this information adds a whole nother dimension. And what concerns me beyond all that is what happens as we start to move in an environment in which not only is information being, I've heard some people use the phrase weaponized, what happens when now we see people suddenly manipulating our networks so we can't believe the data that we're looking at? That would be a real fundamental game changer to me. And to me, it's only a question of the when, not the if this is going to happen. And what happens when the non-state actor decides that cyber offers an asymmetric advantage to them because their sense of risk and their willingness to destroy the status quo is significantly different and greater than your typical nation state. Those are the kinds of long-term things. So as we've talked about more broadly today, we've got to get better on the defensive side because part of deterrence is making it harder for them to succeed. I acknowledge that. But a defensive strategy alone isn't going to work. It is a resource-intensive approach to doing business, and it puts us on the wrong end of the cost equation. That's a losing strategy for us, but it is a component of a strategy. We have got to ask ourselves, how do we change this broader dynamic? To go to the point you've heard repeatedly today, how do we convince nations and other actors out there that there is a price to pay for this behavior, that in fact it is not in your best interest?
And what should that price be?
Oh, it's a wide range of things here. There's no one silver bullet, which is another point I would make. If we're looking for the perfect solution, there isn't one. This will be a variety of incremental solutions and efforts that are going to play out over time. There's no one single approach here.
Well, and your point about manipulating data, about a month ago I chaired in a different committee a hearing on artificial intelligence and our growing economy's growing reliance on artificial intelligence. And one of the things that the witnesses testified there was concern on the cybersecurity side of a hack that would modify the big data that's being relied on for artificial intelligence to change the decision-making in a way nobody's even aware it's been changed. And I think that's a threat I hope that y'all are examining closely, and it's the sort of threat that could have significant repercussions without anyone even being aware it's happening.
Sure.
Let me shift to a different topic. Director Clapper, you've testified before this committee that Cuba is an intelligence threat on par with Iran and listed below only Russia and China. And there are reports that the Lourdes, the Russian-operated signal intelligence base in Cuba, will be reopened. And additionally, this past summer, Russia and Nicaragua struck a deal to increase military and intelligence cooperation, resulting in an influx of Russian tanks into Managua and an agreement to build an electronic intelligence base, which may be disguised as a satellite navigation tracking station. To the best of your knowledge, what is Russia's strategy in the Western Hemisphere, and how concerned are you about the Russians expanding their influence in Cuba and Nicaragua?
Well, the Russians are bent on establishing both a presence in the Western Hemisphere. And they're looking for opportunities to expand military cooperation, sell equipment, air bases, as well as intelligence gathering facilities. And so it's just another extension of their aggressiveness in pursuing these interests. And with respect to Cuba, Cuba's always had long-standing, very capable intelligence capabilities, and I don't see a reduction of those capabilities.
Thank you.
We will make America great again.